The German humanitarian philosopher and writer Albert Schweitzer once said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve."
Today, we honor Specialist 5, James C. McCloughan, a man of conviction and of courage. And by honoring him, we honor those heroes who fought so selflessly by his side, and all of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who have raised their right hand to defend this country and to defend our ideals. Many have no idea who Jim McCloughan is, including until recently many of those with whom he served in Vietnam, and I suspect maybe even some of the many young men and women he coached and taught over the years. You see, Jim is actually an alias, and also known as, because people don't know Jim McCloughan. They know Doc and they know Coach, both monikers he's proud of. But Jim McCloughan is the 261st recipient of the Medal of Honor for actions in Vietnam for the Battle of Tam Khe.
The Medal of Honor, as an award for the Army, was first enacted by Congress in 1862 and was awarded to soldiers that shall most distinguish themselves by their gallantry in action and other soldier-like qualities. The criterion has been defined as not being the simple discharge of duty, but acts so beyond duty that if refused, the person should not be subjected to criticism. Above and beyond, the call of duty is an action so bold and so dangerous that not acting would be reasonable.
To fully appreciate Jim's actions, we need to step back and see the entire picture. This son of South Haven, Michigan, a four-sport varsity athlete, a collegiate wrestler, football and baseball player, planned for himself a life of quiet excellence in the classroom as a teacher and coach. Jim's parents had instilled in him a sense of compassion and raised him to consider others. Athletics provided Jim his sense of teamwork and commitment. His spirituality provided him reassurance. The combination of these makes it clear why Jim would not let others down in their time of need, where he summoned the physical, mental, and emotional endurance to persevere under the most extreme circumstances. A standout athlete, he attended Olivet College, where he excelled at wrestling, football, and baseball. Athletics was his passion, and he wanted nothing more than to begin his new life.
However, the nation called, and being a patriot, like his uncle who served in Korea, his father in World War II, and his grandfather in World War I, Jim McCloughan served his country in this time of need. Jim was drafted into the Army at age 22, and if we look at his service, we detect a higher purpose unfolding. Jim's longtime love of athletics had bestowed a basic knowledge of sports medicine, which ideally suited him to the medical specialist mission. His competitive spirit and physical daring, so often displayed on the football field.
There we go. Good exercise.
BTC, you have a hot mic. His competitive spirit and physical daring, so often displayed on the football team, would make him a lifeline on the battlefield.
Courage is almost a contradiction in terms. It means a strong desire to live, taking the form of a readiness to die. A man must seek his life in a spirit of furious indifference to it. He must desire life like water, yet drink death like wine. 8,000 miles from his Michigan home, near a place called Tam Khe, Vietnam, Jim McCloughan lived the contradiction of courage.
LZ Center is where Jim arrived in March 1969 with the mission to deny Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese army from gaining a foothold hold in their area of operation. It was distinctive there, smelly and not pleasant. It was hot and only got hotter during the summer months with stifling humidity. Jim was assigned to Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 21st Infantry, 196th Light Infantry Brigade, Americal Division, the Charlie Tigers. A helicopter ride brought him to his company out in the field. In about a day, Jim responded to his first call of medic following an ambush. Jim was fully committed to every patrol and mission that he was on. He routinely carried a 100-pound plus rucksack to ensure he had enough supplies. And he provided care and treated it all, from leeches, rashes, sprains, and heat exhaustion, to keeping men alive until they could be evacuated. And whenever and wherever he heard the call, medic, Jim immediately rushed to the aid of his men.
The heat index was 100 degrees on 13 May 1969, when Charlie Company combat assaulted into an area near New Yon Hill. Specialist 4 Bill Arnold was thrown from his chopper when it was down by enemy fire. Then Private McCloughan, the former varsity football player, ran 100 meters over open ground, dodging crossfire, to rescue his injured brother in arms and carry him to safety. Bill later wrote, "I had seen him do some unbelievable stuff to save other soldiers before, but now he was risking his life for me. Only Doc McCloughan would run toward the enemy while everyone else was running away." Later, when his platoon was ambushed and wounded soldiers lay exposed to enemy fire, as airstrikes rained metal down on the enemy, the wrestler from South Haven ignored a direct order to remain under cover and went repeatedly into the kill zone to save his comrades. He was so close to the assaulting enemy forces that Sergeants Joe Mittendorf and Doug Hatton, both M60 machine gunners, feared they'd shoot their own medic. Hatton wrote, "I saw his clothing move as shrapnel hit him." Doc never flinched.
Though wounded, Private McCloughan refused to evacuate. In a firefight, it's the combat medic's job to cheat death, and Jim knew it. When ordered by his commander to get on the chopper, he simply replied, "Sir, you're going to need me."
In fierce fighting the following day, Jim was wounded again by shrapnel and small arms fire while treating soldiers in an open rice paddy. Then, as night fell and supplies ran low, Private McCloughan volunteered to hold a blinking light in the dark, a beacon of hope to mark the place for the resupply drop. It was also a beacon for enemy fire. His lieutenant, Randall Clark, accurately assessed the situation. McCloughan was the sitting duck. As the resupply bird approached Jim's blinking light, a firestorm erupted so thick the helicopter could not make the drop. It abruptly left, riddled with more than 20 bullet holes.
When we think of Jim lying there, with rocket-propelled grenades flashing overhead, one might recall Psalm 91. "Will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day." And though many fell around him, no harm could overtake Jim McCloughan.
In 48 hours of close combat, Private McCloughan sustained multiple wounds from shrapnel and small arms fire, knocked out an RPG position with a grenade, and voluntarily risked his life 9 separate times to rescue the wounded.
And this, my friends, is just a fraction of Jim's story. In those 48 hours, he saved the lives of 10 members of his company. But he also saved countless others during his 12-month tour in Vietnam. Then, following Vietnam, he resumed his chosen path, his dream job as a teacher and a coach, and went on to influence more than 10,000 lives over the next 40 years in the classroom and on the athletic field. The Medal of Honor is our nation's highest award for valor in combat, and Jim McCloughan wears it proudly. But he'll tell you that he wears the medal for those who are lost, for those individual battlefield feats, whose courageous acts and whose courage in the face of overwhelming odds are lost, consumed by the noise, chaos, and confusion of battle. He, like every other Medal of Honor recipient, is the first to say that he isn't a hero. Rather, the heroes are the ones that didn't make it home. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vietnam veteran and Medal of Honor recipient, Specialist 5, Jim McCloughan.
Can everybody hear me back there? I was giving a speech, and it was standing room only, and a guy in the back said, "Could you speak up a little? I can't hear you." A guy in the front stood up and said, "I can hear him, and I'll trade places with you." Hope that doesn't happen today. I would first like to recognize some people. I would like the General's lovely wife to stand. Behind every good man is a better woman. Supporting him. But all of the generals who are leaders stand here. Generals, stars, stars and stripes forever. Good. Other senior leadership, please stand. Senior leadership. Vietnam veterans, please stand. Vietnam veterans. Thank you, brothers. Thank you. And now, those who are always ready, the guards stand. I'd like to give you a quote. This old coach will give you a quote that I really love. Leaders are not born, they are made. And they are made just like anything else, through hard work, and that's the price we'll have to pay to achieve our goal or any goal. Vince Lombardi. And that's true of our leaders. One of the things this great nation has been blessed with is dedicated, hardworking, compassionate leaders. The United States military is second to none in this category. Thank you all for your service and your leadership. I was asked in a meeting at Shree's in my home to address you with the given speech that I had at the Pentagon during my introduction into the Hall of Heroes. However, before I begin, let me tell you about something very dear to my heart. Upon return from Vietnam, I became a workaholic, teaching high school and some college and adult ed classes at night, coaching 133 high school teams in a matter of 38 years in football, wrestling, baseball, and American Legion baseball, as well as officiating high school wrestling. I also was involved in the junior league level sports and ran the summer recreation program in my community for 22 years, which included running all of the parks and the men and women's softball adult programs. This plus many semi-professional engagements as a soloist. Yes, I do sing. I know now that I didn't become so heavily involved just because I loved serving my community and my school. I did it also to keep the horrific sights I had seen in Vietnam as a combat medic from surfacing out of my subconscious. As long as I was busy, I didn't have to deal with my Vietnam ghosts. But upon retiring in 2008, I had more time to think. I call it self-talk. So since most people talk at a rate of 115 words per minute, and they think 7 times faster at 825 words per minute, it's very important what we say to ourselves. And so often, we need to talk to someone about our thoughts. Not just anyone, but someone who can sort those thoughts out for us. Upon suggestion from a VA rep who had space in the Grand Rapids Vet Center office, I began meeting with a counselor in 2011 and soon discovered how much I needed him, even though I thought I didn't. Although I had taught psychology for 38 years, I found out there are some things in life I cannot do on my own. Brian's professional skills and caring approach set me on a path of dealing with memories which I could not even tell my wife. He listened and helped me walk through issues I had needed to confront. I may have been able to save a few lives as a medic in Vietnam, but Brian saved mine. If you or someone you know and care about is struggling with PTS or depression, there are those compassionate, caring individuals trained to hear you out and guide you to your oasis. Please do the right thing for someone or yourself. You are loved and needed by your family and friends. In the early 1970s, there was a song that came out. Some of you younger guys might not know about this, young ladies. But the song was entitled, "Short People Have No Reason to Live." This experience I'm going through sure does blow the hell out of that theory, doesn't it? In an interview recently, I told someone that there are 2 things that I never thought would happen to me. One was that my name would be attached to this medal, and another one was that I would be interviewed by many national TV and radio stations. Well, there's a third one here today. I never thought I'd be standing in the headquarters of the National Guard of the state of Michigan, speaking to a group of very important people. This medal is about love. A love so deep in the souls of 89 men that it's really even hard to measure. I'll be the caretaker for this medal for those men, whether they came out of Tam-Kee alive or not. We came from all parts of this great nation. Some were drafted and some volunteered, but all wrote a blank check to the people of the United States of America and South Vietnam. We leaped out of those helicopters from about 10 feet up in the air into a place far different from the hometowns that we grew up in. Each of us had a job to do. I've often said that I had a positive job in a negative situation because I was able to save lives. I took my duty seriously, as did the other men of Charlie Company. As a combat medic, I followed my father's lead. As a small boy, he told me, if you're given a job to do, don't do it halfway. You do it to the best of your ability and carry it out to the end. He not only told me that, he showed me that. My dad walked the talk. His guidance is ingrained in me. All of us present here today have made a pledge, an oath, a loyal oath to our country, to the Army, and to the Constitution of the United States. My men did the same. But we could never be prepared for what we were about to face the next 48 hours. Our goal soon became getting as many of us out alive and eventually home as possible. Through the many battles we had already faced together, we had become a brotherhood. We had grown stronger and thicker than blood. This bond will follow us to heaven and beyond. My father passed on to me another good gift, a sense of humor, already discovered. Along with the many things that I carried in my medical pack, I had a few jokes or funny little comments that I often told to lift the morale or keep a wounded man from going into shock. I'm Awardee. I love to see and hear people laugh, and I laugh at my own jokes right along with them. They're funny. I wouldn't tell them if they weren't funny. I've continued to use this gift and will use it till the day that I die. As a matter of fact, I've told Cherie that I would like her to place a piece of paper on my chest at my funeral with a joke written on it. And I've requested that they have a smile on my face instead of that sober look, so that it appears that I'm laughing right along with them. Let me give you an example of a joke. It's about a Dear John letter. Anybody in the audience that doesn't know what a Dear John letter is, it's a soldier, or sailor, or airman that receives a significant letter from back home that says that they're not in love with him anymore. And that's what happened with Private Smith. He received a letter from his girlfriend, Marie, back home. And she explained to him that she could no longer wait for him, and she didn't love him anymore, and she was dating him again, and could she please have her picture back? He was down in the dumps, and one of his fellow soldiers noticed it and asked him what was wrong. And so he told him what had happened. He said, "Could I see that picture?" He gave it to him. He looked at it, and then he ran around to the other guys and asked them if they had an extra picture of their girlfriend that he could use. They said, "Sure, we have one." So then his buddy, or his friend, Private Smith, wrote the following letter to Marie. "Dear Marie, I'm sorry you don't love me anymore, and I'm sorry that you can't wait for me. And I understand why you might want your picture back. But I can't remember which one you were, so would you take your picture and send the rest of them back?" Might be a few guys in this room wish they knew that before. However, those brutal 48 hours were not funny. We discovered we were not there alone. First night, when my second platoon was ordered to search the area out in front of our perimeter, I got a glimpse at New Young Hill. I saw what looked like the flowing of lava coming down off of that hill. We learned later that there was 1,500 to 2,000 NVA and 700 VC on that hill. Remember, 8-9. Fortunately, we had each other, and we were dedicated to duty. We also received some help from the rest of the military branches. Turn that other light that you had on back on so I can see my script here. Overhead lights, could you turn those back on so I can see my script? Whoever that is, I wouldn't want you in foxhole with me. Could I have that light back on? Okay, I'll show you what I can do. Our survival would depend on a team much larger than us. That team of the other branches was also equally dedicated. Wounded the first day, I refused to board the medevac the evening of the 13th of May. An RPG had done its job on me, but I would rather be dead than to find out later that even one of my men died in battle because they didn't have their medic. Another man by the name of Sergeant Joe Mittendorf refused to go in on a helicopter that night. He, along with Doug Hatton, were two of the very, very good, excellent machine gunners who covered me each time I went out to rescue someone. They continued to cover me for the final 24 hours with those machine guns. After nearly 50 years, the Purple Heart, which Joe Mittendorf earned back there in that battle, was finally given to him at an Army reception Sunday, July the 30th. I would not be here today if it wasn't for Joe Mittendorf. I'm so proud of him, waiting all that time to get something so important that he earned. It was one of the highlights of the ceremonies that I was involved in. I owe much to my parents, family, mentors, teammates, and friends. Thank you for what I was able to accomplish as a medic. The brave soldiers who died in my arms will remain in my mind the rest of my life. I heard the last words of 18, 19, and 20-year-old boys. Some thought I was their mother. I saw them take their last breath. I wanted to save all of them. I felt helpless and even inadequate when it was impossible to do so. One of the best values I learned from those I mentioned earlier is that of integrity. Doing the right thing, even though nobody else isn't looking. However, my upbringing and my belief is that someone is always looking. God is ever present. I was grateful for him being close to me in Vietnam. He gave me the faith and the hope I needed to carry on One of the most important lessons I learned during the battle for New York Hill took place in the trench line when I was contemplating how I was going to get one of my men who had a stomach wound through the crossfire to safety. All of a sudden, a thought out of nowhere came over me. It had been since I was a little boy that I told my father that I loved him. I knew he loved me, and I assumed that he knew I loved him. But boys and men didn't say that. Those three words, I love you, to each other in those days. So I had a quick conversation, a very quick and profound conversation with God. I told him if he would let me get out of this hell on earth so that I could see my father again and hug him, tell him that I love him, I'd be the best father, the best coach, the best teacher I could possibly be. At that moment, an incredible peace came over me. I knew that whatever happened to me after that was God's will and not mine. When I returned home, I ran to my dad in the Chicago airport, hugged him, and told him that I loved him. He did the same. It became our greeting and our departure for the rest of my life and the rest of his life. I lost my father September 4th, 1991. I've encouraged my children, my athletes to do the same. And the Charlie Tigers, my brothers, we say it to each other every time we hang up the phone or greet each other in person. Life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. The men of Charlie Company did things that would take your breath away. We looked into the face of danger and death. We had our backs to the wall, but we fought for each other until the enemy was beaten, went away. My long career as a teacher, coach, and a wrestling official has allowed me to have many breathtaking experiences with students and athletes performing extraordinary things, including my own two sons and my grandson. My journey through life has taken me from a simplistic, early rural life in Bangor, Michigan, to high school and Olivet College as a student athlete, to being a soldier and back to education as a teacher, coach, and official. I have been a part of many groups that carry the team label. Teams made up of ordinary people who go beyond the call of duty. I've seen them accomplish what seems to be impossible through hard work, selfless sacrifice, and love for each other. When you hope and believe, when you have faith in God and each other, when you have love for someone or something bigger than yourself, anything can be accomplished. These men, my brothers, are living proof. Faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these, love. Finally, as a retired teacher, I want to give everyone here and those listening an assignment. Thought you're getting away, didn't you? If there is someone that you have neglected to say, I love you too, do it today. You have many avenues by which to carry out this assignment. So do not wait any longer. We only are promised today and not tomorrow. I almost waited too long with my dad. God bless you all. God bless our military and government leaders. And on a final note, I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there isn't any doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right, Jimmy, I gotta stay for just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Griffin Working. He is the Regional Director for Senator Gary Peters.
Good morning. Wow. Really, I'm just for this microphone. It is an honor to be here before all of you this morning. Mr. James McCloughan, I'm truly humbled to be standing next to you. Listening to your words are the kind of person that inspires me to continue to do good with the life that I have, and more than that, to do better and to tell my dad that I love him very soon. But I'm here on behalf of Senator Peters so that he can present a small token of appreciation and recognition to you. You and your service. It is a congressional record statement. It will be presented on the Senate floor as he will read it, and it will be entered into the congressional record. To not be repetitive, I will just simply read the last paragraph as I feel it's the most impactful. Mr. President, Specialist 5 James McCloughan is an American hero who consistently put his life on the line to save the lives of his fellow Americans. He has always inspired others, whether by his actions on the battlefield or his students in the classroom. I urge my colleagues to join me today in congratulating and thanking Specialist 5 McCloughan for his continued dedication and service to our nation. Thank you.
I would be amiss not to recognize from the very beginning was Fred Upton, who got the ball started with the lieutenant. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the original medal that I was put in for was the Distinguished Service Cross. And they told my lieutenant, well, he's just a PFC, they don't get that, so give him the Bronze Star. So for 48 years, I had the Bronze Star for that action. And when it got to the desk of Ashton Carter, the Defense Secretary, and he read the 9 notarized eyewitness letters, he said that the SC is not high enough, and he's the one that recommended me for the Congressional Medal of Honor. I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for Senator Carl Levin, who was with me and the lieutenant for 4 years, and then Senator Debbie Stabenow took over. My wife says, give it to a woman, she'll get it done. And she did, after 6 years and several months, it finally moved out of the Public Relations Committee into the Army Board of Decorations and Awards, where it really has to start. It took 6 years to get it started. And then, of course, Debbie Stabenow and Gary Peters wrote the bill that waived the 5-year period that you have to give that medal, and it had been 48, so we were a little over on that one. And then in the House, Fred Upton was the one that pushed the bill through the House. I'm extremely grateful to them, Lieutenant Clark, and 9 of my men who didn't give up on the issue. I didn't go to Vietnam for any medals, so again, I'm just a caretaker for those 89 men.
Thank you, Mr. Working. So Jim, just stay up just on stage for a minute. If your lovely wife Cherie would please join you on stage, and General Vadney, if you please come up.
These are not the only pair of boots that my wife owns. She did leave her horse outside.
Jim, your band of brothers became your family while you served in Vietnam. And there are many veterans here today who understand how deeply important the military family becomes when you put on those fatigues, those BDUs, ACUs, combat utilities. Call the uniform what you will. The military family has always been rooted in, I've got your back. Today, we, the 10,000 plus soldiers and airmen of the Michigan Army and Air National Guard, the 2,500 full-time state and federal employees of the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, and the Marine brothers and sisters that we share this campus with, would like to welcome you and Cherie into our military family. On behalf of us all, thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Hey, Jim and Cherie, I'd just like to say on behalf of all of us in this room that we love you. And so are so proud of what you've done, what you've represented in the way that you have represented it. It comes from the heart. You are a great soldier, warrior, leader, a great American. And thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are many people in this room, many soldiers, who were not yet born during the Vietnam War, and many of us too young to remember it. But there's not a soul in this room who knows how our Vietnam veterans were welcomed home. I think America has been trying to apologize to its Vietnam veterans for decades, with more war memorials dedicated in cities and towns across the country, Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C., and more importantly, Americans are apologizing by the extraordinary way they thank and honor the men and women of our armed forces today. Many of us currently serving often talk amongst ourselves about how often we are thanked for our service and how humbling it is, especially in that long, dark shadow of Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Vietnam veteran of the United States of America, would you please give us the honor and stand to be recognized?
I invite you to join me again in a word of prayer. Almighty God, it's really an honor to recognize our Vietnam veterans. Time, inspiration, this time of wisdom, this time of sharing. Now, Lord, I pray that these words of wisdom will sink deeply in the soil of our lives. They will reach down to the root of our being, nourish and strengthen us for the days ahead. Thank you for the opportunity to grow as individuals and as a community. Lord, help us to take this message and its challenge, not be sucked up into the cynicism, pessimism that so often surrounds us. Be changed, and you to be agents of change, of good in this world. Now, Lord, as we prepare to depart, may we go in your grace, in your peace, remembering always that we abide in a community of faith, of hope, and of love. May we never forget that the greatest of these is love. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, while this concludes today's TAG Town Hall, we are not completely finished. As you depart, we would like to offer you the opportunity to shake the hand of a Vietnam veteran and to meet our guest speaker, Mr. Jim McCloughan. To do this, I will need you to follow just a few military instructions. First, we will have all Vietnam veterans form a receiving line in front of our stage. When I say the word, we'll start the receiving line here by Staff Sergeant Jankowski. Where'd she go? Okay. Next, Mr. McCloughan will lead our line to shake the hands of our Vietnam veterans. He will be followed by General Vadnais and our special guest. All others will follow. And finally, after you greet our Vietnam veterans, you will have the opportunity for a photo with Mr. McCloughan over in the corner, if you desire. The photos will be available for download on Flickr later this week. Pick up one of the cards on the table for the Flickr address. After your photo op, please enjoy the Vietnam War display out in the hallway if you haven't already done so. And finally, on behalf of Major General Greg Vadnais and the entire Michigan National Guard, thank you for your service, and thank you for attending today's town hall. At this time, will all Vietnam veterans please come forward and form a receiving line?
If tomorrow all the things were gone I hoped for all my life, and I had to start again with just my family by my side, thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause our flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand in